What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about riding the London Tube, or the London, well, we'd call it a subway system in America, honestly, or metro, or railway, or actually, does this have, let me Google this. London Tube. London Tube. Transport for London, yes, it's a public transport system. London Underground. So, I think I've heard of that. So the London Tube is the London Underground. The underground public transport system. I think, yes, I am pretty sure that is correct. Anyway, in the United States, obviously, we're pretty familiar with the concept of underground transport systems, trains, railways, subways, as I've said. You really only find them in major, huge cities in the United States, which is, I don't live in a major city, so I am really not all that familiar, although I have experienced them in my day at some point or another. And I also feel like this is one of those things where the tube, or a subway, or a railway in America, they're super fun and when they're new, like when you're a tourist and you're riding around in it, having the time of your life, but if this thing is part of your day-to-day life, like you have to get a ticket and get on it and to go to work or get around town, it's probably not nearly as fun. I was thinking about that. It's probably way more fun when you just get to visit London, ride around on the tube, be like, oh, I'm on the tube for the first time, and then hop off and go home and never see it again. I don't know, maybe it's really nice. Maybe the locals love it. I don't know. That's kind of why I want to watch this video. Find out a little bit about, well, how it's designed, its history maybe. I know this video is going to go into how to get a ticket, how to ride it, get where you need to go. I mean, look at this map here. Look at this thing. Is this complicated or is it just me? I mean, this looks like a circuit board or something, right? Has anyone tried to build the London Tube into a circuit board based on this map? Maybe it makes a time machine or something. Anyway, okay, I've gone on long enough, I've procrastinated enough. Let's take a look at how to ride the London Tube.
Yellow Productions presents
How to ride the London Underground. I'm Chris, this is Yellow Productions. I do travel guides that are fun, informative, and entertaining. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know to ride the Underground, also known as the Tube. While it may seem complicated at first, after you watch this video,
I like how he's empathizing with me. He already points out, hey, it might seem complicated, but I think like most things in life like this, if you have to do it every day, if this is your main mode of transport and you're not a tourist or foreigner, it's probably pretty straightforward public transportation.
you'll be a pro. I've broken it down into 7 different areas. First, I'll give you a system overview. Then I'll talk about planning your journey, buying tickets, getting in, finding the platform, riding the train, and then finally getting out of the station. So,
I mean, I don't know if he was trying to make it sound simple, but breaking it into 7 steps, 7 separate steps to ride a train, makes it sound more complicated. I wonder if the tube is in the 21st century yet, and you can like buy tickets on your phone, if there's an app they've designed. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Have they modernized this railway system?
oh, here we go. The first thing to know is a system overview. The London Underground, also known as the Tube, is never known as the subway. A subway here in London is a pedestrian underpass. The London Underground is the best.
Oh, I gotta stop it. Yeah, that is not what a subway is in the United States. I pretty much use subway interchangeably with railway, a metro, underground train, goes through tunnels. But a subway means something else in London, okay?
A subway here in London is a pedestrian underpass. The London Underground is the best way to get across town or to a different neighborhood in town, though it may not be the best way to go a short distance. The tube stations are a long way underground, so it can take you quite a ways on the escalator or walking to get to the platform. So if you're going 1 or 2 stops, you might be best off walking or taking the bus. The tube...
Okay, so it's like a whole journey. It's like a whole thing just to get onto the underground. probably to get your ticket to walk there, go down the escalator. So it's not worth it at a certain point if you can just walk somewhere. Plus, walking is good for you and all that.
Tube has 270 stations. There are 12 lines which are named and colored. For example, the central line has also the color of red. It's the red line. The hours of the tube, the trains run from 5:30 a.m. to midnight, Monday through Thursday.
I'm actually surprised that there's hours. I would think this is probably so important to the economy of the city, you could say, for everyone to get around to their job and do stuff, that this would just be going at all hours. But I'm actually not familiar at all with even how London is laid out, where all the neighborhoods are, what is where. So this is like 100 times more complicated, I think, for me particularly, just because I can't even look at this map. And I don't even know how London is designed, where things are. I don't have an innate sense of it, so this is like a little extra confusing.
Friday and Saturday it's open till 1 a.m. and Sunday it opens a little later, 6:30 a.m. and closes a little earlier at 11:30 p.m. Rush hour in the morning is from 8 to 10 a.m. and then in the evening from 5 to 7 p.m. Those are probably times, if you want to avoid the tube. It is definitely most crowded at those hours and is also more expensive. They have peak.
This brings back some memories, you know. I gotta say, as far as the London Tube goes, this looks like any railway system that I've ever seen in America. I don't know what I expected to be different. I guess in some parts of China or Japan, they have the magnetic ones, which are floating off the ground. But I didn't expect that here. I don't know what I expected to be different, but lo and behold, a giant hunk of metal carriages on wheels in a tube is the same, no matter where you are. Go figure.
Fares and off-peak fares. There's also a few lines that offer night tube service. Those lines run 24 hours, but only on Friday and Saturday nights.
Okay,
The second thing to know is about planning your journey. Before you go someplace, you gotta know where you need to go. Obviously, you could wait until you get to the station, because every station has a tube map, but you...
So he said there's something like 200 stations, and every station has a map. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if, how big a deal is it to get on the tube? Is this something you gotta... I'm sure the day-to-day pros at this who use it every day are probably like, what are you talking about? You just get a ticket and get on and move on with your life. But for me, it would be like a whole thing. I'd be like, we need our like 6 months in advance. I'd be like, do we have our ticket? Did we map out our pathway through all the systems and with colored pencils?
You really want to start planning before you even leave where you're standing. You can do that online. There's tube maps. You can pick up a handy tube map that you carry around with you. But the best way to do it is to download the City Mapper app. Yes, City Mapper. You can get it for iPhone or Android. It gives you great connections, great suggestions. It'll tell you the tube, the bus. It'll tell you which part of the train you should be in.
Thank goodness. I was really thinking, in this day and age, with something this important, there's gotta be a better way. Thank goodness. Being in the future is great, isn't it? It's just so great. There's just an app to solve all my problems.
It'll tell you the tube, the bus. It'll tell you which part of the train you should be in. It'll tell you how long it takes to walk between stations. It's really great, so use that. Google Maps will work in a pinch, but the City Mapper, really a lot better. The third thing to know about riding the tube in London is buying a ticket. And simply put, don't buy a paper ticket. They do sell paper tickets, and unless you're only going to ride once in London, it's totally not worth it. A single one.
You know, I think the last time I was on an underground railway or underground train, subway, was pretty much before smartphones. So we definitely had paper tickets. There's something kind of fun, something kind of nostalgic about a physical paper ticket. But again, that's me talking as like a tourist or something. If you're using this thing all the time, It's like, no, you want to whip out your phone and scan a barcode or a QR code or something and move on.
One-way paper ticket is 5 Great British pounds. You are best off buying an Oyster card. It's their stored value card. It costs $5 to store some value on it, and then you can use it to tap in and tap off. You buy the Oyster cards at any tube station. They've got a whole bunch of vending machines. You just go up there, you say buy the card, and then you put exactly how much you want to load on it. The machines will take bills, coins, and credit cards, though maybe not your credit card. If you've got a foreign card, so luck on actually getting those to work. So,
you know, I bet you this is how they do it all over the world. I'm willing to bet you. I bet you they either have you use your phone or purchase a card like this. If you're using the tube a lot, it makes sense that they want you to use this Oyster card and load your tickets or your credits onto it. Okay. Makes sense.
if you're not from the UK or Europe and you don't have a chip and PIN card, then make sure you've got some cash on you to buy the Oyster card. I find if you're here for, say, 3 or 4 days, loading up about 20 pounds is pretty good. Only reason you might want to buy something on paper is if you're purchasing a travel pass. You can buy a 1-day travel pass or a week-long travel pass. It depends, in that case, how many zones you're going, how much it would cost. For shortness of this video, I won't list out the whole prices, but I'll put a link in the description below that you can look up the exact prices of the single day and the week pass.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so if you buy a travel pass, do you just pay one time for this pass and that lets you get unlimited rides on the tube for a week? There's no way. He was talking about zones or something. So maybe you pay for an approximate amount of zones or stations that you plan on visiting, and it kind of deducts that as you go? I don't know. I'm sure smarter people than me have figured all this out.
To determine whether that's a better deal. I should mention one good deal about the Oyster card and the way things work here is there's a daily cap. It's basically if you ride the subway about twice, it works out to be that then every ride after that is pretty much free. So that's nice.
Okay. Yeah. So it is worth it getting the card because you end up saving a lot of money instead of paying approximately £5 every single time. Yeah.
Fourth thing to know is about getting in. Every station has ticket gates, so to get in, find the ones that have an arrow that indicates it's for entry, insert your paper ticket in the slot, or tap your Oyster card. The gates will open up. If you have an Oyster, it'll show you the balance. You could also use a contactless credit card to go through, but maybe not your credit card if you're not from the UK.
Man, the last time I was at one of these, it still had those rotating bars that troublemakers could jump over. This thing would be a lot more difficult to jump over. You'd really make a scene. But you know, if you were so inclined and you were a little crazy and athletic, you could probably still jump up onto the ticket slider thing and then jump over the gate. Anyway, I don't need to get too much into that. Definitely not doing that.
Credit card to go through, but maybe not your credit card if you're not from the UK. Okay, once you're through the ticket gate, because you've planned your route, you know what line and direction you need to go to. Look at the overhead boards. You'll see colors and names and directions. So just head that way.
I mean, this reminds me of an airport at this point. It really reminds me of an airport, which makes sense. A huge, giant underground layer trying to get to the correct platform. Platform. Yeah, reminds me of Harry Potter. Platform 9 3/4.
Likely down the escalators or some stairs. Once you get to the platform, you'll see things up on the top, some signs up on the top that'll tell you what time the next departure is and what direction and what leg or spur of the train it's going. Some lines, they're just one line, but other ones, they don't travel to all stops, they make a split. So make sure you're going on the correct split of the train to go to the stop that you want to. And while you're on the platform,
So, he just said some stuff there that was a little confusing to a non-train goer, a non-tube user, or metro user. So, does the train take you to other stations? And if, theoretically, if you're going somewhere a little obscure, you're going to have to get off and get onto a different one, which will take you down a more unique pathway to where you need to go. Because obviously not every train goes everywhere. Yes. Okay. It's been a while. Oh man, I was a very little kid last time I was on anything like this. Still looks the same though.
Platform, make sure to stand behind the yellow line to wait. Well, when the train gets there, step to the side of the doors, let the people off, then get on the train. Make sure to mind the gap. There could be a pretty big gap between the platform and the actual train. Sometimes it can be significantly higher than the platform.
Hey, that guy was about to get in front of the door while it was opening. That's a very bad manners. I've seen places and videos where it's actually rush hour, and people sometimes, probably more so in the United States, or I think sometimes in places in China I've seen, where there are just so many people, and they do not get out of the way of the door to let the poor people inside get out and escape. And it's just a mass of people trying to get in. But you really need some public cooperation here, some mutual respect in terms of movement to let people out. Everyone can get in. It's not going anywhere. It's all fine.
Platform too, so make sure you pay attention as you step onto the train. Once you're on the train, either sit or stand. Pay attention to the priority seats for disabled or pregnant or older people. Also, if you're standing right next to the door, pay attention. The doors are curved, so watch your head. If you're tall, the doors are going to kind of come in.
Yeah, I feel obligated to note, even though it's a little redundant and obvious. Turns out the tube and all the underground trains everywhere look exactly the same. They even have the same paint on the inside. It's like everywhere you go, the inside of a railway carriage looks the same.
And a little bit like this. When you're on the train, the stops are well announced in English. You can look outside the window and see the stops as well. But if you use the City Mapper app, it'll tell you exactly how many stops you have to go. So just go ahead and count. Once you've made it to your stop, it's time to get off the train. At this point, you're either going to exit the train and transfer to another train, or you're going to exit the station. If you're transferring, just follow the same process. Look at the
I'm actually surprised that the app, maybe the app is more advanced than I think, but I feel like at this point the app could literally be brain dead, telling, let you go on autopilot. Literally your phone tells you when you've arrived, tells you to get off. It says get off and go to this other platform, and then it guides you there with GPS. And if that's not a thing, maybe that should be a thing.
Overhead signs to transfer. If you're exiting, you'll be looking for signs that say way out. That's what it says, way out, usually in yellow. And then make sure you go to
way out. That is a weird way to say that. I don't think that's how they would write that in the United States. It's just a weird phrase. Way out. I assume we would just put exit. Way out? It's just I don't know why, it's just weird.
Way out. That's what it says, way out, usually in yellow. And then make sure you go to the correct exit. Many stations have different exits. When you get to the exit, just...
Okay. Maybe way out is slightly different than the exit. Even if it said, this is the way out, I would be more accepting of the phrasing here. I don't know.
Correct exit. Many stations have different exits. When you get to the exit, just tap your Oyster card or insert your paper ticket to get out, and there you have it.
Kind of funny that they make you scan your card to open the exit. You're trying to get out. What if you lost your card and you just couldn't? You're just stuck on the tube forever. You became a tubeman. You have to live there for the rest of your days. But I always thought that was funny, how you have to scan or put your ticket in to let you out. I understand not letting you in without your ticket, but God, let us out. Anyway, scary.
Your Oyster card or insert your paper ticket to get out, and there you have it. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it useful, please hit the thumbs up button or click on this little yellow ball right here to subscribe.
Okay. I did like that. That was by Yellow Productions. I will give that a thumbs up. That was very nice. Okay, not that much has changed, I don't know, in the last 20 years or so since I've been on an underground railway. But I did feel like I needed to just get a nice sense of the London Underground, the London Tube. I mean, it has its own name. I don't know if that's a nickname or what, the Tube. But I feel like I've heard that before, the Tube. Very fun to say, the Tube. I can't stop saying it. Anyway, it actually seemed like pretty straightforward. Pretty nice. Wasn't too crazy. I don't know if he obviously was not there at rush hour. It'd be kind of fun to see a video of the most chaotic the tube can get. But this was nice. This was just like very relaxing. 7 steps to use the tube. For you silly American who doesn't understand how to do it, I understand now. I think even I could do it. And especially since they have a little app that would hold my hand and guide me through it. But no, this is very interesting. I really wanted to see this. And this was like a nice, not just explaining it, but kind of walking through it, kind of getting to experience riding the tube a little bit, kind of fun. But if I did it 1,000 times in a row, I'd probably be over it. But for now, very romantic, very, very nice. Anyway, if you found this video very romantic and nice, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to London, the UK, Great Britain, and everything in between there, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.